What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I've done a video on this in the past, but obviously it's time for me to reiterate what I said before. And that was a video on Chavez Jr. He has a fight coming up this Saturday against Brian Vera, a fight that I'm looking forward to seeing. Chavez Jr. has had a long-standing battle with weight and ballooning up in his off-season. He tested positive for a diuretic. He tested positive for having marijuana in his system in his last fight with Sergio Martinez. Received a heavy fine, very hefty. And this is his comeback fight from his long suspension. And the date got pushed back. He had a cut. I think that the cut might have been a part of it, but also him making weight as a part of it. And by these pictures, I might be right. This motherfucker looks huge. He was fighting just last fight at 160. Then they decided to have this fight with Brian Vera at 168. Probably because it would have been too much weight for Chavez Jr. to lose. I seen Chavez Jr. Months before he started his training camp, and he was clearly over 200 pounds or very close to. He was huge. He looked fat. Now he just looks very muscular and way too big for 160. So kiss that goodbye. I don't really see him going back down to 160. I think he'll have to kill himself to make the weight and be probably more ineffective. So as far as the Sergio Martinez rematch, I doubt it because Martinez is already a small middleweight and had to move up in weight from 154 because he said he couldn't get any fights after the Paul Williams knockout, and no one really wanted to fight him at 154, so he had to move up, fight bigger guys. And he says 160 is already a stretch. He doesn't want to move up and fight Andre Ward. That's what Sergio Martinez and Lou DiBella have been saying. So I doubt they would move up to 168 to fight Chavez Jr., a person who gave Sergio Martinez one round of trouble and almost knocked him out. So I doubt that he would go up. If anything, possibly a rematch at a catch weight, but he's calling out Mayweather, and who knows? It's a sport of boxing. You never know. There's a lot of bends and turns that we can't expect. But as far as Chavez Jr., this motherfucker looks huge. Now they're saying Bob Arum is saying the fight weight limit is TBA, like to be announced. Like, this is crazy. First of all, Chavez has been fighting at a 160, and the fight was already happening at a higher weight. So Brian Vera was going up in weight to meet Chavez's needs because it's a big money fight for Brian Vera, and Chavez had ballooned up to past 200 pounds. Now, to meet him some of the way down, he was already fighting at that catch weight, and I heard it was supposed to be like 164, 165 or so, and they're saying Chavez weighs 173 pounds now, and he's going to try to meet 168. This shit is crazy. And some of y'all motherfuckers, they'll be the same ones that will slander Mayweather for outclassing Marquez for 12 rounds because he didn't meet his weight agreement, but you're okay with this. So that's crazy. I've never seen a fight where the fight weight was to be determined. Usually it's set in stone, and either the fighter's going to pay a fine and meet it or not meet it, like Adrian Broner versus Escobedo or Brandon Rios. I've never seen a situation where it's like, yeah, depending on what he weighs, that'll determine where the fight weight limit is held. Shit's crazy. People were complaining about Andre Ward. Andre Ward calls Chavez Jr. out. He's looking for a big money fight. He cleaned out his division in the Super 6, and he wants that big fight. He wants the recognition and the adoration of the common boxing fan, not just the diehards. And he called out Chavez Jr. A lot of people were saying Andre Ward is a pussy and he's calling out the smaller man. I'm not too sure that he would even be the smaller man. I mean, this dude looks huge. He looks like he's clearly over 172, I would say, in this picture. I feel sorry for Brian Vera. I had him losing the fight regardless, but I mean, I think this dude is going to be too big for him. I think he's probably going to stop Brian Vera. I'll do an actual prediction more detailed, but just want you guys to see these pictures. Chavez Jr. getting ready. I don't even know if he's going to make weight. I mean, he looks big. That's really all I could say. And hopefully he's not doing any kind of PEDs or diuretics like he did in the past. I think it was like 2009. One thing I will say about Chavez Jr. is he kind of shames his father's name based on how he trains and his dedication to the sport. One thing I have to give to Canelo, who is another popular Mexican star, arguably bigger than Chavez Jr. I don't know. I don't live in Mexico, so I'm not sure who is the bigger draw. Obviously, they both have a dedicated fan base. I think Chavez Jr.'s is more based on the merits of his father and that legacy and that name. He has his father's namesake. But one thing that I don't like is his dedication to the sport. I've said this time and time again. I'd be anxious to see how Chavez Jr. looked with full dedication, not doing these makeshift, I'm going to turn my living room into a gym. Go to the fucking gym, get in the car, get your fat ass in the car, go to the gym, and actually work out and sweat it out. I mean, for real, you got guys like Abner Mars, who was saying he was eating out of trash cans. Lamont Peterson, him and his brother were on the streets of D.C. homeless. And you got guys who are really grinding. This is all they know. Boxing, fighting is all they know. Brandon Rios, from a trailer park to fighting in Macau, China against Manny Pacquiao. I mean, these are true underdog Rocky stories. And to see somebody with potential and their father's name and they seem kind of spoiled is disheartening. Like I said, Chavez Sr. is a legend. This man is a legend, over 100 fights, and that can't be disputed. So I just wish he would take it a little bit more seriously. Train hard. Like I said, no makeshift workouts or smoking weed or waking up eating Fruit Loops and shit when your dad's trying to give you instructions on how to beat a guy like Sergio Martinez. And then you didn't listen. You were jumping in the pool in pink Speedos and shit, and you didn't listen, and you got your ass whooped for 11 and a half rounds and almost stopped Sergio, but in the sport of boxing, almost doesn't cut it. And you weren't able to pull the trigger and you weren't able to stop him. So the biggest step-up fight of your life, you were ill-prepared. You were smoking weed. You were sleeping till 5 p.m. That's not the life of a boxer. Some of those people get up at 5 a.m. and just go jogging. And that's what I give props to the fighters like Canelo, who is young, younger than Chavez Jr., and very dedicated. He looks dedicated. Canelo, I've never seen him not in shape, even when he's big and he's walking around. He doesn't look flabby and sick or like jelly rolls or anything like that. He looks fit. He looks like he cares about his physique. He looks like he ongoing puts himself through the ringer, and he looks like he trains hard, versus Chavez Jr., who kind of comes across as like a spoiled brat and like, oh, daddy's money kind of dude. So I don't like that. Hopefully he gets his act together. We'll see how he looks in the weigh-in, and we'll see how he looks against Brian Vera. Let me know what you guys think of these pictures. This motherfucker looks like fucking Mexican Rambo or something. Like, he looks way too big for 160. So good luck ever seeing a fight with Canelo or a fight with Sergio Martinez at 160. Let me know what you guys think. Even Gennady Golovkin, I don't even know. Gennady said he can move up, so I'd really be anxious to see how Gennady Golovkin looks against someone like Chavez Jr., who is probably just naturally bigger than him. So let me know what you guys think of those potential fights. What do you think of the Brian Vera fight? What do you think of these pictures? Let me know. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.